Hey guys, this is Martin from Desync with another video for you. Today we will talk about conditional logic inside of the mapping engine. Just got an interesting question through our support. The person was asking, is it possible to basically check the category and if it contains the letter Q, and if it does, transform the category into some string. If it doesn't, output something else. So we will look at doing that today. So you can use functions on your mapped field. So you would do, you would map the category field onto the destination output. So in my case, these are the same. So the source contains one category field and the destination contains category field, and we're just looking at some transformation of the data here. So if I go into the function, I can actually look for the letter Q, and we'll do it using regular expressions. If you don't know regular expression, I would suggest you Google that. It's a really powerful tool. So in here we are looking for, we're basically replacing, let me just put it in there, we're basically replacing any character which is not Q, and this replacement is optional, so we leave that blank. That means that anything which comes in, the system will look for the letter Q. If it exists, it keeps the Q in the string. If it doesn't exist, basically what you get is an empty string, and I will demonstrate that in a bit. So let's add the function in, hit OK, save that, and we can use the preview to actually test our functions. So if we go in and say category equals test, it doesn't have any Q in it, so we should be left with an empty string. As you can see, there's nothing in there, so that works fine. If we put in, if we added a sample here, and if we put in a letter Q, I can rerun the preview, and you can see that the Q has been outputted here. So that's the first step. So we identify the category which has the Q in its name. Now we need to make sure that we're having just one Q in there. So for example, if you had category name with many Qs all over the place, you want to make sure that what you get in here is just one letter, just a Q. So if I run this now, it gives me multiple Qs, the number of Qs which were in the category name. So we can use another regular expression function to get rid of the duplicates. So we go regular expression replace again, and we are looking for multiple Qs, and we will replace it with just one Q. Add it in, hit OK, save the settings. If I run the preview on the same sample where there were multiple Qs, I should just get one. There you go. So that basically is the setup on the data coming in. And how do we now transform the name of the category? We can actually apply functions to the overall field or the output of whatever you mapped in here and whatever functions you applied. So if I wanted to say if category in the name has a Q, output category with Q. Otherwise, output something else. I would use the value transform functions in here. So value transform function allows you to specify the input string and what it should be transformed to, the output, and you can also apply a default kind of category value or default value in case none of these keys match. So what we're getting now out of it is either empty string or the queue, single queue. So I can say if the string is single queue, transform it to category queue, else apply the default value, which would be the default category no queue. So if I apply this function in here, you can select if it's case sensitive or not. I'll just leave it there as it is now. Hit OK. We'll save the settings, and we'll have a look at the sample. So right now the category coming in contains queue, so I would expect that to actually return category queue based on the value transform function. So if I run preview, you can see that it correctly identified the queue is in there, and we're transforming the category name to category queue. If I edit the sample and do not apply any queue, it should give me the default category name. So I'll save that, preview, and you can see that it correctly set default category no queue. So this is how you can apply the if-else conditions inside desync. If you had multiple letters, then you would map another category fields on it, one more, and apply your regular expressions again in here with the different letters. The one thing you need to be careful about is that if, let's say, we're looking for a Q on the first category, we're looking for letter N in the second category. If the category name has both Q and N, what you'll be getting here is one Q and one N. So that should be actually reflected in your value transform. So you would have, you would modify this function and say QN, and that would be category with both Q and in the name of it, basically. I hope this is helpful, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.